1984, supposed to be a warning, not a handbook or guideline to become the Ministry of Truth in London. Unfortunately, in the UK, we now have the Online Safety Act. Something similar is happening in Australia, and it looks like something similar may happen in the US. When I saw the following on X, I thought it was AI. If you look at Big Ben in the background here, it doesn't look right. It's weird that he's in front of the text at the back here. So immediately I discounted this as AI. But what do you think? Is this real or is this AI?
Decisively in this. And for everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone.
What do you think? I thought there's no ways he said that. But he actually posted this on X. He says these online safety protections are the biggest step forward in child safety since the internet was created. My words on BBC Breakfast this morning. He's telling you that your age verification protects children and that you shouldn't use a VPN. He also says the following. Reported on Sky News, 2-hour screen time limit and curfews for children being considered by the government. Also reported on BBC, government is considering setting social media screen time limits for children. Independent, another UK newspaper, children face 2-hour limits on Snapchat and TikTok as government cracks down on compulsive screen time. And this is what he said. A 2-hour cap per platform is being seriously considered after meetings with current and former employees of tech companies. A nighttime or school time curfew has also been discussed. He said, I'll be making an announcement on these things in the near future, but I am looking very carefully about the overall time kids spend on these apps. Just think about the implications of what he's saying there. They want to limit screen time for children. How on earth are they going to implement that practically? VPN signups have surged thousands of % since this came into law in the UK. How are they going to stop people from circumventing this with VPNs or other methods? He also said the following. If you want to overturn the Online Safety Act, you're on the side of predators. It is as simple as that. Now, this has been flagged on X. Since coming into force, Online Safety Act has blocked or restricted censored content that wasn't what the act was for. This includes immigration and parliamentary debates. Wikipedia is challenging the characterization rules as the act will mean tough restrictions on the site. They are challenging this in court, and over 450 Brits want to repeal the UK Online Safety Act. That's actually now close to 470,000 at the time of this recording. So what is he saying about these people and any one of you who think that this is an invasion of privacy? What is he calling us? What is he calling everyone who wants to have privacy? What is he actually saying here? If you want privacy, he's saying this. Now, who's this guy? He is the person in charge of what's happening. He was elected in 2015, was made Shadow Technology Secretary in 2023. But notice his background. He doesn't have a background in tech. He has spoken of his struggles with dyslexia and said he has a reading age of an 8-year-old. He was an aid worker and worked with charities before entering politics. But he's taken on one of the most technically challenging briefs and now must defend a piece of legislation with consultation documents that run to more pages than War and Peace. You mustn't do these things because he doesn't want you to do them. But it gets worse, as you'll see as we go through this video. Very sad times in the UK and I think across the world when it comes to privacy and cybersecurity in the name of protecting children. Now, it seems to me that sometimes they create these laws and don't think about the practical implementation thereof. VPNs top the download charts as age verification law kicks in. So VPNs are being used to bypass this, but he's telling you shouldn't use a VPN. He's telling you that you must verify your age. Now, this is an update from the 31st of July. UK government warns promoting the use of VPNs could attract fines. Another very well-known UK newspaper said the following. The more governments try to restrict social media use, the more young people will find ways to get around it. Australia's vowed to ban teens from accessing YouTube through their own accounts isn't going to stop harmful content in the slightest. It's very good points. If you try and ban this kind of stuff, is it actually going to be practical? Or how are you going to stop it? It's proven already that UK users should start using VPNs. Now, the problem with creating lots of rules like this is people find ways to circumvent those kind of rules, especially if they disagree with it. So VPN demand skyrockets in the UK. Tech Radar says that VPNs top download charts as age verification law kicks in. That's on the BBC. So that's the kind of stuff that happens. But as has been noted by many news outlets, you can use the in-game selfie feature in the Death Stranding sequel to bypass Discord's system, and they tested this. So Brits can get around Discord's age verification thanks to Death Stranding's photo mode, bypassing the measure introduced with the UK's Online Safety Act. And we tried it and it works. People do stuff like this, and then you've got activists who create stuff like this. UK cyber vigilantes generating mock IDs of local MPs to protest Online Safety Act. I'm not going to show you all of this. You can have a look on Cyber News' website. But basically, you can go to the website and generate false UK driving licenses with your favorite MP, as an example. Again, I do not advocate that either you do this or that your kids do this. As they say in this article, be warned, do not use these or any fake IDs on various sites, as it will be considered identity theft. Okay, so here's one of the problems. They introduce a whole bunch of new laws, supposedly to protect children. And then what's the effect of that? The implementation doesn't work. People go and use VPNs. And what happens if they do decide to ban VPNs? Is that even practical? Are these 470,000 people criminals now? Are they causing kids to do things that they're not supposed to do? Use VPNs, using Death Stranding's photo mode to bypass the authentication, or getting driver's licenses just off a search engine or from this activist's website. Now, will he ban VPNs? Banning VPNs to protect kids. Good luck with that, says the Register. UK's Online Safety Act kicks off about as well as everyone expected. Yeah, exactly. This is from Tech Radar. Could VPNs be banned? UK government to look very closely into their usage following spike after age verification row. He said at the time of this article that there are no plans to ban VPNs. But what did he say here?
Decisively in this. And for everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone.
So I'm seeing this getting reported a lot now in the news. Will the UK government ban VPNs? We shall see. Now, in the Ofcom FAQs, they do have a section on VPNs. If a UK user accesses the service through a VPN or Tor, software that allows the user to access sites anonymously and masking which country they are accessing it from, would the service be considered in breach of their duties? We expect service providers to take steps to mitigate against and refrain from promoting any circumvention techniques which are easily accessible to children and where it's reasonable to assume they may use them. In addition, service providers should not host or permit content on their service that directs or encourages child users to circumvent the age assurance process or the access controls, for example, by providing information about or links to a virtual private network which may be accessed by children to circumvent the relevant processes. I am not saying that this is for children. I am not promoting that children do this. But the big issue here is that the government is expecting you to upload age verification information, your passport, your ID, do a face scan or something, to often third-party sites. And we know what happens when data is uploaded. There are constant breaches with data. The T app is an example which I've used previously. Data was leaked from this app, and this is just an example. People have commented on other videos that this is a bad example. I'm simply using this as an example because that app only granted access to the platform after providing a selfie and government ID verification. And this is what businesses are required to do. you have to provide some sort of identification to prove that you're over 18 to access certain websites. Now, that includes sites like Wikipedia, who are actually going to court against the UK government. We've got Discord, we've got Reddit, we've got X, we've got Spotify now requires age verification. So this, I think, is an attack on privacy and free speech. How are they practically going to ban VPNs? I mean, if they did decide to ban it, like has been reported in some places, how are they going to do that? Are they just going to push people to use more extreme options? Are they going to use Tor then? Are they going to use SSL VPNs? How are they going to actually stop this kind of thing? Technically, it's amazing. I mean, on the register, it says here, you might not like it, but good luck enforcing it, said Graham Stewart, head of public sector at Checkpoint Software. The logistics are near impossible. You could, in theory, ban the sale of VPN equipment or instruct ISPs not to accept VPN traffic. But even then, people will find workarounds. All you'd achieve is pushing VPN traffic underground, creating a black market for VPN concentrators. The only way to do that is badly. You'd effectively be forcing ISPs to block legitimate encrypted traffic, and in doing so, you'd be regulating an entire industry out of existence. Worse still, you'd be legislating against cybersecurity and privacy, and there you have it. Now, what's the result of this? I mean, people are doing things to get around the law, but notice from The Spectator, it says the Online Safety Act is shutting down the internet. As an example, footage from a protest in Leeds where police officers restrained and arrest a protester now can't be easily accessed in Britain. MP speeches are deemed to be extreme. So an MP talking about various crimes in the UK was restricted on X as being harmful content. And then the big issue, which I've spoken about before, is like security flaws. Ashley Madison is an example from a few years ago. Recently, we've got the T app. If you're storing all this data and it gets hacked, as they say here on The Spectator, I mean, the implications are huge. Do you really want to upload your personal documents and information about you to all these sites just so that you can use them? It's a major problem, this. The Spectator continues talking about how this clamping down on online content to protect children is not without precedent. Russia did this in 2012, and it was soon weaponized. Turkey did something similar, and it became a tool for throttling dissent and compelling platforms to hand over users' data. Here's an example from the BBC. Some Gaza and Ukraine posts blocked under new age checks. This is 1st of August. Social media companies are blocking wide-ranging content, including posts about the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, in an attempt to comply with the UK's new Online Safety Act. BBC Verify has found. BBC Verify found a range of public interest content, including parliamentary debates on grooming gangs, has been restricted on X and Reddit for those who have not completed age verification checks. Experts warn companies are risking stifling the legitimate public debate by over-applying the law. The new law is not supposed to be used to suppress facts of public interest, even if uncomfortable, but that seems to be happening. I won't show all of this, but notice the BBC Verify have been looking at various things on X as an example and have been shown this. Same thing for Ukraine, etc. Katie Lamb's speech was also restricted. UK politics, secretive Whitehall spy unit used by government to target social media posts criticizing asylum seekers. Emails revealed a spy unit within Whitehall was used to complain to tech firms about content mentioning asylum seekers and two-tier policing. From The Guardian, police unit in England to monitor online signs of anti-migrant disorder. Intelligence team could track social media and flag early signs of civil unrest in response to renewed demonstrations. And here's another one from The Telegraph. Elite police squad to monitor anti-migrant posts on social media. Concerns for free speech mount as Home Office creates team to flag signs of political unrest. And The Telegraph exposed Labour's plot to silence migrant hotel critics. Again, emails reveal Whitehall spy unit complaining to tech firms about content mentioning asylum seekers and two-tier policing. But we're told that this is about protection of children. Meanwhile, we have the White House warning Starmer, stop threatening US tech companies' free speech. Members of Donald Trump's administration are monitoring the Online Safety Act with great interest and concern. The Telegraph also says the act is seen as a bureaucratic nightmare that will punish US companies with huge fines. So the US are not happy about this. and they are expressing their concerns. And a lawyer is preparing to sue Ofcom in the US over the act on the instruction of unnamed tech companies. Okay, so I think I've said enough about this. From just a privacy and cybersecurity point of view, handing over your passport, your driver's license, personal information about you to all these sites is probably a really bad idea when you think about the number of breaches that are taking place every day. Have I Been Pwned lists these sites. Notice these data breaches just recently, this just in the last few days. 15 billion accounts have been pwned. Do they really think it's a good idea that we just hand over this information from a cybersecurity point of view? And from a privacy point of view, it's a nightmare. How are they going to stop kids from using social media? How are they not going to do what other countries have done? The Spectator basically says it's a way to control dissent. I've tried to use different newspapers and different sources to give a bit of perspective on this, but what are your thoughts? Do you think it's a good idea? I don't think it's not going to come to your country. It's affected Australia. It's affected the UK. Norway's looking at this. The US has this in some states, looking to implement this by the sounds of things. It's probably coming to your country soon. I think it's this, and very sad to see it.